Fire, what you saying?
Yes, Fire Key, give thanks for life as usual, you know?
we, we are here again, Ballhead and McDread. Give thanks for everybody supporting the thing from those times. So now make sure support us there at Conscious T, link in the description. Also check out new EP from Apparel Autarchii, Disrupting the Status Quo. And I believe he has a new video coming out soon, so we'll let you know about that one. I believe, am I correct?
Yes, sir, it's accurate, man. Pumps and Pride are gonna be the first one we should about since the release, you know?
All right, cool then. So, Fire, what we're reasoning about today?
We are reasoning about unsolved crime between whites and blacks in America, and even how the system perpetrate a whole heap of them occurrences that will take place in America currently, because a whole heap of misinformation has spread around when it comes to crime and the way how the system approach it too. So feel like a whole heap of clarification to make on the end, you know?
Yeah, because most people are aware majority of murders in America are not solved. So let's put that on the table, right? Especially in big cities. Little towns, I guess, too, right? But there's a big discrepancy because out of the unsolved murders, 70% of them are those of African-American descent or African descent, right? Some people will argue and say, well, one of the biggest reasons is the no snitch culture. And I think that's a cop-out in a sense, because there are many factors that go into why the numbers are so low. Yes, there is a culture where I don't how we gonna say there's a no snitch culture when all people throughout history have been snitched on by own black people? Because nobody a bigger informer than black people, so I don't understand the no snitch culture there to a certain extent. Somebody gonna inform at some point, right? I just think we have to acknowledge that people not really interested in solving crimes with black people. You know, the effort is not there when it comes to black on black crime. And also, we could touch on this later, but I want to put it out there that people never talk about the no snitch culture amongst white people, right? Because like I know they talk about it. Does it exist? If it does exist, it exists amongst white people. I would say yes, there is a no snitch culture. I hope I'm not contradicting myself, but there is a no snitch culture amongst black people, but it's not as prevalent as as people present it to be. Because no man want to take that pressure, and nobody want to do that time. You know?
You see the thing is something play a role, right? So now we have to mention it. All right. When it comes to the thought process where most people have of white people, you know, is them have this thought process of them loyal to each other, them look out for each other, them have more respect for each other. The way they move in them circles, it not have that much fallacy compared to when time them say black people. But if you think about the reality of it, you know, them people they competitive against them one another. Now, why you feel like you have a system like capitalism set in place and created by Europeans or offsprings of Europeans within America same way too? Because them competitive against one another. So when time people are think about it from the levels there, or when them even look into it from the levels there, then we overstand say them people are not really live good amongst themselves like that, as I keep and I tell everybody all the time. But it's just the way how the economic setup. That's the reason why it not look as gruesome when it comes to white people as opposed to how it look when it comes to black people. So that's the whole thing I get misconstrued, and now them now overstanding fire. Because if you really check the history and check even how the mob them used to rule, you see me I say when them rule and when time one thing happened to one individual, you know, the first thing when the authorities them question them and them I get all information what they need to get just because they want to look out for themselves too. So a lot of I feel like a whole heap of ignorance take place when it comes to crime itself, you know. Crime itself overall. But you see when it comes to crime and Caucasians, is a whole misconstrued things because a lot of people don't know how majority of Caucasians think within their surrounding, because Caucasians don't let them in their surroundings like that. You see me I say?
And Fire, before we move on with the crime, there's a great point. I tell people that all this the time. A lot of people are offended with white people because they say, oh, they deal with black people rotten. Why they deal with each other rotten? Yeah. So it's not if they dealing with each other rotten, they suppose brother and sister. Why do you think you're gonna get some preferential treatment? So I think it's too personal, and because people haven't been around white people or didn't really work. But anyone, once you're around a corporate environment and you understand and say, fine, they really deal with each other rotten.
Cutthroat culture, man.
Yeah, cutthroat culture. Very, 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 very competitive, and much more competitive than the culture that we come from. And in all reality, I think that's why a lot of Black people struggle with what do you want to say, interacting with white people, especially in that corporate structure, because they don't have that level of cutthroatness that they grew up around. Some white people grow out of it, but it's part of their culture, that competitive vibe, right? Back to the crime now. I wanted to talk about this whole vibe where it's just like, why are the numbers so uneven, right? And we just have to factor in, just like school systems, majority of the police officers in urban areas or areas with a high population of people of African descent or Latin descent are not people of African descent and Latin descent, right? And I think we fail to acknowledge as human beings. Well, let me clear up when I say this. Brainwashed Black people would care more for white people than they care for Black people, right? But white people on a whole, and this is reality, don't have the same care and nurture for others as they do with their own. I just think as human beings on a whole, you know, Black people, I think the only people on earth has been groomed to just accept everybody else more than their own through self-hatred. But I would say a healthy human being, right? A healthy human being who has grown in a healthy environment and has some self-worth and love of themselves with the natural act of nepotism would care for their own more than they care for others. So if I have someone who is not from the community, who is underpaid, and really too, man, they're really just like majority of the day is interactions with the worst aspect of the culture. That's the next thing we have to acknowledge too, Fire. They're like constantly being exposed to a particular part of the culture that is toxic. Unfortunately, due to their ignorance now, they'll take that experience and put it on the broad culture, not understanding you're dealing with a specific group within the culture. Because every group, race, what you want to call it, have different subcultures, right? And they have disdain for the people, and they just do the least they can. I've been at areas where there's been fights, and I've seen cops take their time and walk over there. Right? They're not running over there. They just generally not. The man was on his phone. Someone called him over, said they fighting. The man literally walked over there. Halfway there after taking a minute to get somewhere where you could have got there in damn near 5 seconds. That plays a role, right? So, and when we say majority, right, it's not all white people. We have people who just genuinely want to do their job. But at the same time, it's just like, you know, I think we have to factor that in. I think it's a rare person that could cross cultures and give them that same love that they would to their own. What's your thoughts about that? Yeah. In my experience, that's what I observed.
I know when me say though, when it comes to the imbalance of how the thing set, right? Majority of the time when you have a police department, the police department where me exposed to the most is NYPD. See? And we know NYPD is one of the most vicious police departments in America. Like, cause majority are different. I think across the country have like around 66,000 police department. It close to correct. I'm not sure if it's the exact number. You see me I say? NYPD, LAPD, and a couple of others. Very, very vicious, and them used for the model across all of these different departments. The way how me the NYPD approach it in various neighborhoods, because the school that me used to go in a Manhattan, you see me I say, close to the village, and I think about Tribeca, which is one of the most expensive zip codes them too, in regards to how them set up the city itself. And then living at that time in East New York, which is one of the precincts, them they're very occupied, and the way how them approach it. So the approach where them have in the Black community is like them have this aggressive approach, but it's not an approach where it used for solve anything. It's more of an approach for show enforcement, for say, all right, you have one thing happening around the corner, and if there's one thing happening around the corner, we can increase our presence, and our presence are going to come in as a scare tactic. So you realize that it's not really an approach you use to solve anything. It's just an approach used for show that I am the NYPD, this is my zone, this is my turf. Make sure that when you're doing things on my turf, you don't do it with this brawling approach or this flamboyant approach, because the only people that use a flamboyant approach within my city is my department. You see what I say? So the approach with them use there, you realize if you think about it now and say majority of the crimes in a black communities unsolved, you can't see why. because the approach is there not with the people to get the information or the appropriate investigation to take place. But when you circle now a place like Tribeca, East Village, and all these different places where we've been to, and we're there and see how them approach. Once them get a call and them approach it, mine, you know, the same white police them at, you know. When time them see these particular things happening, the approach with them take is a sense of urgency, because these citizens can't be exposed towards any form of act of crime or any act of nepotism or anything of that sort. We have to make sure, say, this is a city where earn us money. This is a city where have a particular reputation. We have a lot of residents here who we know high up on the economical ladder. We don't want to disturb for them peace, because if we disturb for them peace, then it's going to become a media thing where we're not going to be seen as extremely effective as we're supposed to be. So when them approach that now, them approach it with a sense for solve something. You see me I say? That is what me is from my experience.
And Fire, you are so correct, because that's where I wanted us to move in regards to, remember, I guess statistically would verify this too. Dealing with the black people is majority of what you want to call low income. Don't have the resources for the lawyer. Fearful also, right? Don't really have that vigor to say to stand up for themselves due to consequences, because they do speak out. There's no one to protect them if judgment come their way from the police. But what you said is a great point, because remember, with that demographic now, it's more than just the white, it's the accountability, because they know if they do not provide that service, there will be a call to the precinct. Media will get involved, their resources there, and the courage is there to go forth, right? So they kind of play off that. They play off the white privilege, and they play off the black and Latin flair. Because if you're really pretty right now, for a man to come down your block and just beat you up and leave you, right? And the man know he's not going to get in trouble. He know he can't do that in the next place, Fire. Because the mother going to say something, the father going to say something, the coach there, somebody in that community going to say, Fire, this cannot work. You're going to be held accountable for the actions that you have. So the fact now, it's almost like the people have been stripped of their ability. Yes, if things, I want to say this too, you know what would help if we had more consistency in our response to abuse from police. I think that would change the whole dynamic in the relationship. For instance, now, you know how it go already. When a white police officer kills a black person, it's walking, what do you want to call it? Protests, marching, media blitz, all that vibe. Black on black crime, we ignore, right? But I think if they had that same energy in regards to the case of that person being found, it would put pressure on them to change their approach and how they do in regards to solving crimes. There's really no pressure to solve the crime. The pressure comes from black on white crime, women being killed, children being killed, public figure being killed, person with resources being killed, as long as it's not connected to another politician or another person of power. But just for the regular man, ain't nobody business with that. But here goes the problem with all that. When these murders are unsolved, we have terrorists in our neighborhoods. Any person I grew up in the hood, I didn't grow up in the ghetto. Two different things, right? Right now, for real, right? Hood and ghetto, two different things, right? Like hood, it'd be more like people work. You get what I'm saying? They may not make enough, but at least majority of people try to work or something going on. Ghetto, totally different thing going on. But anybody grew up in these environments know you got people who are mentally ill and full-blown terrorist Fire that terrorize the neighborhoods for years and years and years. Everybody know they a murderer. Everybody know they a killer. Everybody know they put hands on people, but nothing is done.
You see, the thing what happen now is that them type of man, they have street cred amongst the people, man. And that's the hypocrisy of the people them come in, you know, because I feel like that's a whole different discussion if me ever go there road. But the thing when we talk about the police too, for note, couple instances, right? Me have a direct instance while in a white neighborhood. I have a direct instance while living in a which part me used to live, East New York. Anybody know Brooklyn? Know about East New York? East New York is a different type of place. No, 90s are Brownsville. I go to Brownsville side, East Flatbush, they're saying about. When you go further now, you have East New York now. That's the next side after Brownsville. So the way how the approach is in a them type of place is any type of youth where you see and him look a particular way, him have a classification towards him. Because me I walk one night, you know. And when me I walk one night, me in a blue. You know, we are youth and we are put our dress together. We have our blue shirt, we have our blue shoes, and you know, we are coordinate. The police they actually clamped down on me, and them accuse me of being in the Crip gang because a Crip that is a Crip area. So right off the top now, I start to see the approach where I go on. So it's like anything when me say to them, you know, them that no matter to them no more, you know, because them associate me, you know, to be a Crip because me live in the East New York, me have full blue, me have on full blue, them see me a move and me a listen to my music and me a move and towards them, me would look like a youth have the potential figure being at that because the way or them other youth they look, me would probably look similar to them. You see me I say even though we not sag on them two pants at the below waist and them thing there, but in a fit them mind we're black and within the area we must associate with them youth. So it just show you where them think about everybody from the culture as we say them take particular activities from the culture itself and stigmatize everybody from the particular zone. So any approach where them get towards that particular area at all, it have the preconceived notion say, yes, so full of more criminal than the average place. So anytime we approach right so and crime take place right so the people them have to be in the wrong. It can be something else, you know. So it's like it put a dent on the investigation. See? And then when you go approach a situation like that now and say you start even an investigation, we're supposed to have some form of depth towards it and some form of morals towards it. The investigation already have the preconceived notion, so the investigation goes nowhere. You're not going to get it. With a preconceived notion, an investigation skewed already, you know. You can't tell me say the investigation have a level playing field, you know. So I them think they contribute to even the unsolved crime and them not even know it. Because don't get me wrong, you know, as me say, we have a lot of our people who support this culture because due to the advertisement, them will come in front of them and them type of different things will come in front of them. Them change and not even, and because them so brainwashed on top of that, them don't understand say them are propagate crime, them are support violence, them are support some cannibalistic and barbarian behaviors where them not supposed to support because probably them cousin involved in a certain thing or them friend involved in certain things or them must say alright, we just not like police, so that simply means say we're supposed to support anything anti-police, which not necessarily means that it have some form of sense to it. But then when you check it for you can't generalize the whole thing, and because of the generalization with them put towards that now, you see the effects same way in the statistics.
Well, let me hear you say mountain, mountain, mountain.